You know, over these days, we've thought so much about education. What does it look like to study in this era in which our world is passing? What does it look like to teach in this particular era? What does learning from home mean? What does it mean to educate, to grow? These are right questions that have been a wrestle for this world, and ongoingly so. For us, as a humanitarian agency serving this world in need, those same questions have been there, but trying to understand, what does that mean for orphans? What does that mean for those in slums? What does it mean for those who are in remote villages? What does it mean for those who are refugees? These are complex and precious questions to ask and to hear answered. And so we reached out to partners to understand better. Orphans, let me just give you an example in Thailand, a beautiful organization with whom we partner. They have many centers where there are orphans, 30, 50, maybe even 100 kids in some of these particular spaces, but social distancing mandated by the government required that these centers reduce to 15 people, children. So if you have 15 children in an orphanage, you can understand the reasons for it, but what does it mean for the others? In their context, it means this. The children have to go back to the villages from where they were found or where they heralded from. But not alone, the staff from those orphanages must travel with them and stay with them as surrogate parents and, I guess, remote teachers there with them, trying to care for them in their village in that complicated context. Or jump to a slum in the Philippines. It's a precious thing to be serving in the Philippines. It's a precious thing to be serving children from slums. But the instant those children must go home, you then ask again the context, what is home? And you recognize again that home is in many cases a wood and metal shack. And that shack of metal, the summer in the Philippines this past has been over 36 degrees, almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But you know, in true typical Filipino humor, looking at context like this, saying to us, they said, you know, the good thing about it being this hot in our slums is even COVID couldn't live in a place this hot. And you appreciate the joy that is there. But in talking with our educational partners, you think, what does it look like for them to offer schooling? And you can imagine in places such as that, where a father or a mother may go out needing to find food for the children, but they come home, maybe with food, but maybe also having caught something. And here they are in that confined small 2 by 2 meter space with 6 other people. And you just think about the complexities for the children, the students there. Or jump to a rural village in Nigeria. A dear friend that we have there is the headmaster of a school. He's a wonderful man, but the instant that these social distancing and safe measures were put in place, all 40 teachers had to stop teaching. But it also meant that they stopped being able to receive money because it was part of the ecosystem that was there, and that was complicated for those 40 teachers. Immediately, the students were sent home. In that context, as they were sent home, in these villages, there is no Wi-Fi. There's no online learning opportunities. And the headmaster was saying it's difficult. He said our historic way of generating income in this village is people would hawk their wares along the roads or streets, their produce or products would be for sale on the street sides. And he said, but the instant that you stop that, you stop their food. And he said, in our culture, begging is an anathema. It's looked down upon to beg. But time after time, he said, I have watched my people humble themselves and ask for help. And he said, it's beautiful at the beginning when people come to you asking for help and you can't help them. He said, but it's crushing when you go to them or they come to you asking for help and you haven't anything more to offer. But even during his response to them, his words challenged me because he said, but I say to my people, but even though it is tough, do not stoop to actions that you will regret after this wave of COVID has passed. Just counseling them, even in the midst of this extreme and dire need, not to reach for things like stealing and violence as a way of getting through. And all the encouragement that his words were to me, hearing him speak to his people, even in that context. Or jump, if you will, to refugees from Myanmar. They settled informally in a neighboring country, have no legal rights. There aren't medical services available to them. There aren't resources available to them. And so where do they live? They live across the border in fields. And during harvest seasons, they may be able to work. But if that industry stops, there isn't anything. And the balance of them live on rubbished hillsides. Just imagine living on mountains and mountains of wet, soggy rubbish. And daily about noon, when the dump trucks come clearing the city's debris, those dump trucks pile down and everyone scavenges looking for things that can be sold or traded or recycled. And in those down periods, those kids are off to school. Those kids are trying to learn and maybe in that context also get their daily bread by being in the school in that place. But for those who are refugees in that country, a good face mask is about $1.50 US to buy. And that's hard when your family's earning less than $1 a day in total and you have multiple family members needing masks. Then you go on top of that. And the difficulty for them is that water, they haven't got water in either of those places I've just described. Water is a kilometer's walk away. And so they want to go and get water, but if they are caught outside without a face mask, they face a penalty, a fine, that's about $6 to $8 US per person who is not wearing a mask. And so what does education look like for those children, the children of refugees? But I step back, and what I love is a deeper heart that's there. I look at those in the orphanage, and what they're doing, they as teachers, they're saying where my commitment lies is to these children. And so if it means that I leave a school and I go to a village so that I can be with my children and care for them, that is my mission. And so I will care and serve them in this context. In the Philippines, in those hot slums, what does education look like? These school teachers who are there, the principals who are there, the heads of schools, they said our commitment and our nutrition programs to feed the kids, it's deeper than this. Our commitment is to their very lives. That's what we're committed for. And so education looks like feeding programs not just for the kids, but for their families and for the communities that are there. You look at the remote villages in Nigeria, and there, the idle land in their school that was originally slated for future building design currently now is being farmed. They are fields where they are trying to plant roots and potatoes and other things that they may be able to share with their children to sustain them and share with the broader community at large. And even those who are with refugees that we're also serving, they there are trying to get them the masks and the food and the other resources they need so that they are able to live through these days. Education for them has gone to that deepest and most beautiful of level, which is saying that I care for you. I care for you as a child. I care for you as a person. You matter. And so part of my responsibility is serving alongside you. That's beautiful. And there are many large organizations, groups like World Vision that you can go and who are actively trying to support through education and child care mechanisms, industries and people in these places. Also for us, all these partners with whom we are serving and walking and working, they too have needs. Some of them have funds, some of them are too small to have appeals that they can put on the internet. But we have, as you know, the COVID relief fund that is there, assisting people in these places, being able to help now and also down the line. And if there are ways that you want to partner with that, by all means. But I think just stepping back for me, the joy has been looking and being grateful that at these times where we look and ask ourselves this question, what actually is important? What really matters? There is a much deeper and beautiful picture that I have seen, school by school, teacher by teacher, principal by principal, as they too are out there looking at that deepest level of calling and commitment, the care for those that they serve. So thank you for walking with them. If there are partners that you know and you're already supporting that are doing schooling-related projects in these places, keep going, support on. It's needed. But whatever it is you do, just thank you for also carrying those precious lives in your hearts as you walk, and as we, as a planet, walk together. Thank you.